Hey Scruffy, how you doing? Wow, got a meow tonight. Wow, got another one. So I got your hearty cuts with real chicken and beef. And then you got the kibble and half a dosage of your earth. So we're getting close to done on the earth. How's that sound? Okay, well, I guess I'll bring it out. So, get the plate. Okay, here I come. Water. Okay, so I'm going to change the water now. So take your old water out. Put your new water in. And, oh, he ran back. Is he afraid, or is he just stretching? I think he's afraid. So, I don't know what's wrong with the Scruffy. So, put out the glove. Want me to reach? Okay, that's a little better. So the wind's picking up right now. I don't know if you can hear the trees rustling. So the weather, I think, cooled down just slightly from yesterday. So both of these days are supposed to be very similar. Basically, a 10-degree drop in temperature, increase in winds. Still very sunny, very few clouds. However, yes, I went on a bike ride today, and when I got to the top of the hills, I was able to see the valley and see some of the distant hills. And yeah, it's very hazy. So there's kind of a blanket of haze over the entire valley. So it's touching my leg now. So since the that's a web bite. Okay. So since the valley or the weather is cooler today, I decided I wanted to try to push myself on the bicycle because I think we're not going to be seeing cool weather like this much more. So I'm already kind of disappointed that pretty much almost from the start of spring that we kind of missed out on the spring temperatures and kind of went right to summer temperatures. And so today's very more spring-like, but the forecast already says, yeah, this is kind of the end of it, and it's going to heat up again. So I don't know if we're going to get to see more cool days in the near future, or if it's just going to turn into summer at this point, since we're starting to get close to summer. Actually, we still got a little while to get it till summer, but since we didn't seem to get much of the spring weather to begin with, I'm kind of pessimistic we're going to get spring weather later this spring. So I went up the exposed mountainside, and I did the 2 difficult climbs on that route. And then I also did the difficult route on the other side of the valley. So I did all 3 of the hardest routes, not counting the hardest route that I haven't done yet, that I want to do someday, but not today. So this is the first time I've done all 3 of those routes in the same day. And then on top of that, I'm doing still my other hill climbing routes. So this was solid 2-hour ride. It was actually a little cool. There were multiple times I was thinking, gee, maybe I should have brought heavier clothes, but the sun was unobstructed, so when I was out in the open, I'd get heated up a little bit. But when I was in the shade, it was definitely cooler. And then when I was zooming downhill, get the wind. But we also had a strong wind today, so also getting the wind just when I was climbing. But that one's actually nice when you're climbing because it cools you down. So saw some animals out. Oh, I saw a deer. So I was on one of the paved trails, and there's a deer on one side of it, and to my surprise, the deer didn't move. He saw me. He was watching me. I gave him a wide berth, at least as much as I could on the trail. But so I stayed my distance. So there's no way I could reach out and touch him, but he held his position. So that was impressive. Scruffy doesn't even give me that much credit. Scruffy will flee at that distance. And saw a quail crossing a trail in front of me. It's funny because I thought maybe the quail would take the flight, and instead, so I don't know exactly if the quail was worried about me or not. He was just kind of running across the trail and then up a hillside. So I thought it was funny watching a quail run instead of taking flight. And so he was moving really fast, but it looked really funny. Funny waddle he had, so watching a penguin. And let's see, I don't know what else I see. Saw a blue jay, saw some small birds, squirrels, of course. No turkeys today. So I mentioned the other day I saw 6 turkeys on the exposed hillside near the top, and one of them was gobbling very loudly. So I don't know what that is. Is that a gaggle of turkeys or a flock of turkeys, or I don't know what you call a group of turkeys. So Didn't see the turkeys today. Didn't see the cows out either. So I think a few days ago, yeah, the cows were out and grazing at the top of the mountains or whatever, and so you could hear the mooing down echo through the valley. Okay, Scruffy, I think we're getting close to time here, so I guess we should get your food. Okay, let's get your food, okay? Okay, so you're gonna have to let me brush you tonight. Okay. Gonna go easy on you since you've been so jumpy, but still want to do this just because I want you to get used to this. We do it every night, so it's been 9 months since we started. Just the brush. So you think after 9 months you'd trust me a little more? And you'd be more used to this. So I think I'm done. So I'm going to easy on you tonight. So, yeah, we talk about the deer, or when we talk about deer in general. So, a few years back, I got to travel to Japan, and I found out there was this town called Nara. It's about an hour from Kyoto by the Rapid Express train. It's a small kind of garden town, kind of on a mountainside. Basically, the novelty though is the deer are sacred, and so I guess through the generations, the deer have learned to not be afraid of humans, and in fact, they actually know how to ask for food. So deer will actually come up to you and bow their head, and then know to expect food when they do that. And the deer are brave. They come right up to you, and in fact, not only the deer are unafraid, I think all the animals are unafraid. So I remember I saw a bunch of pigeons on the ground, and the pigeons come right up to you too. They're not afraid of you either. It's just an amazing thing to see. So the small little deer, the baby deer, yeah, they're still a little timid, but as they grow up, yeah, they know to come right to you for food. So yeah, if you ever want to see a deer close up and interact with it, they'll let you pet them and stuff too. Yeah, if you ever want to see a deer, yeah, go to Nara, Japan. It is incredible. One caveat, so there are deer food vendors and vending machines throughout the city, so you can pick up deer food. The caveat is don't let the deer know don't let the deer see you that you have food, because they actually get a little aggressive, and so when I got some food, they saw me and they surrounded me, and then they start pushing me from all directions, trying to get me to give them the food. They're actually pretty rough, and there are a lot of tourists in Nara, so a lot of the other tourists were filming me getting pushed around by the deer. So I'm sure it was a great sight to see. And I saw other deer chase unsuspecting tourists. Most of the tourists are actually natives, so they're Japanese natives. but they're not from Nara. They're from other towns, probably Kyoto or Osaka, or maybe even further, like Tokyo or something. It's also a beautiful city. They have some of the most beautiful Japanese gardens in Nara, from what I've read. So I got to see a couple of them, and yeah, they're definitely something. Small town, but yeah, and kind of a touristy town just because of the deer. But definitely worth visit. And I remember I stopped for lunch there, and actually, yeah, it was one of my favorite lunches throughout Japan. I love food, so I was eating like every different thing I can get my hands on in Japan. And so when I say this was one of the best meals I had, this is actually saying something. So, but yeah, it's not a traditional Japanese dish, and I think that's one of the things that caught my attention. So I got a curry katsu. So it's a chicken. No, sorry, pork. I think it was pork. Yeah, I think it was a tonkatsu curry. So usually Japanese curries are like yellow, and they're very similar to Chinese curries as well. They're okay. They're not my favorites when it comes to curries. My favorites actually are Indian curries. So I think, yeah, for whatever reason, I think, yeah, whatever the Indian spices, or just the preparation or whatever, the way they do it, I think it's just way more flavorful, and it's also a lot hotter, like spicy hot, which I like. So what surprised me with this particular restaurant was they were serving Japanese-style tonkatsu, except the curry they used was actually the green spinach curry that you would find in an Indian dish. I forgot the name of the green curry, but it's basically a spinach-based curry. I think it starts with a P. And yeah, putting the two together is the perfect fusion. It's like, why hasn't somebody not figured this out before? Why is this not everywhere? Because it was so good. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite meals I had in Japan. Though there are so many good ones. Can't rave enough about the food there. Food is so good in Japan. And yeah, what's cool about Japan is, yeah, because it's like such a modern international country. They basically import everything on top of all the other domestic stuff they have, and then they love to create, and so all over the place they're doing innovative fusions, and so so you can do the traditional Japanese dishes, but you can also do some of the fusion things that they experiment with, and there's a lot of experimentation in Japan. So just keep your eyes open, and you'll see somebody's trying to do something different, and just because there's so much competition there that you got to do things to stand out. But also the Japanese don't tolerate bad food and bad quality, so they also are very demanding with their food, so you can't get crap. It's actually funny seeing American chains there, because the low, we have lower standards here in the U.S. With our food quality. And so when our chains go over there, they really have to up their game. And so it's really fun to try some of the American restaurants in Japan because it's really a different experience. And the food's good. Even 7-Eleven's good, which shocks me. So the little sandwiches you pick up on the shelf of the store are actually, they're good. Okay, folks, guess that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.